everybody. Welcome to furniture arranging. This is a big part of what being a designer is all about. Is like how do we make spaces functional and look good in how we arrange things. So I have a notes portion for you posted. I don't have anything to do with those notes, but you do need to know a lot of the information to do your assignment correctly. So just kind of highlight a few of the big things on your notes. If I'm looking at just choosing furniture, making sure you're choosing stuff for function. Like make sure it fits the number of people that are going to use that room, that it's going to fit the style, and try to make things multifunctional if you can. But also think about what's the feeling you want that room to have. You can see in here all the pictures have really different feelings with it, but they should all be functioning for what you want to do in the space. Consider also when we're looking at this, like all the mechanical and structural details, electrical. We're not going to focus on electrical but in this class, but it is something you do want to consider if you're going to be a part of like new construction or remodels that incorporate that. But windows, doors, cabinets, shelving, fireplace, columns, all of that really play into how you arrange your furniture and like wall hangings. This is one of the most important, the traffic flow and space, is making sure you have a good amount of space in your room. So looking at space and traffic here, major traffic areas such as hallways, like big walkways, should be 3 to 4 feet. That's quite a bit. But that's just like the major walkways and hallways. Keep traffic flow areas clear. A lot of times I get people that do the assignment and then they put something and there's no way to actually get to the other furniture because there's other stuff in the way. 14 to 18 inches should be between like a coffee table on the front of a sofa or an ottoman in the front of a sofa. And then 2 feet should be behind the back of every dining chair or other piece of furniture that's kind of doing that same thing. So you can kind of see like on here, I have this picture. This is a good amount of space. You can get to where you need to go on both sides. This one, it's okay, but it's not as good. Like I can get here, but in order to get over to this sofa, I have to go that way and then kind of go around. I can't get there this way. So it makes it not quite so nice. Okay, the seating on this dining table, you can see, you can pull the chairs out. You have enough room to pull them out and then sit down. Like this one, you can't. There's way too much stuff in the way. So that's something to be thinking about when we're looking at this. Also making sure when you're doing this that you're finding or creating a focal point within your rooms, in particular for like living rooms and bedrooms. So looking at this pieces, proper arrangement to highlight that focal point. This one's not so proper with the furniture in front. This bottom one is showing how if you don't have a structural thing like a fireplace, you can just use artwork that's big and light it up to help it tie it in. This top one is kind of showing a poor example of focal point. Like basically the TV now is competing kitty corner with the fireplace and everything's arranged a little more around the TV and not the fireplace. So maybe having a TV above the fireplace would make that less competitive. Or to actually, instead of having it in the corner, have it more on the wall and fit like that. So just arranging things in different ways. This is just showing how you can use the same furniture, or similar furniture anyway, and just do different arrangements within the same space. And creating areas around the focal point in different ways. Making sure reminder to use balance when you're doing this. So think, do you want asymmetrical or asymmetrical balance, and make sure you incorporate that in a room. This is just talking about different groupings you can do. And then we're going to look to it, how do you create a floor plan. We'll focus on this a little bit more later, but usually one quarter or 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot. And then usually we can use graph paper that's 1/4 of an inch. And then each box on there is 1 foot. You also can do this on software or on paper, and we'll be looking at some of those too. Create room size according to whatever your measurements of the rooms are. Add your structural elements like fireplaces, beams, anything like that. Then you add your furniture, then you do flooring, wall hangings, and then all your accessories in there. Tips that I have, arrange furniture templates and make sure the templates are the proper scale. If you're doing 1/4 of an inch equals a foot, that your templates are that scale. too. And then just checking that you're using your elements and principles of design really well. Okay, so that's your notes. And then from there, making sure you're using that information from the notes to do this furniture arranging assignment. So you're going to be arranging your furniture or your floor plan to meet the needs of the following clients. So you have Haley, and then she has the needs that she wants for her space. So she's wanting a place to put on makeup and do her hair. Her bathroom is really little, doesn't have any space for her to store that stuff, and she wants to be able to sit down and do it. She also wants to have a desk with a room for a laptop, space for organizing bills and paperwork. Okay, and then she'd also like room to entertain, enough dining space and good seating in the living room. So try to get as much of that in as you can, but also don't sacrifice. You got to be able to move around properly. So you got to find that balance. Chang's request is watching movies and playing video games. So he wants a TV, and then room for storage somewhere close to the TV that would have rooms for like controllers and board game storage and that kind of stuff. He also would like a desk of his own with a computer, like that would hold a desktop computer. And then he wants a stationary bike somewhere so he can exercise. Okay, and then I just have some really quick reminders about traffic flow, things you should be doing on there. And then I have some tips on the next page. And this one is do not change the furniture dimensions. Don't make them larger or smaller because then they're not going to be to scale anymore. You're going to drag and drop your furniture templates onto the floor plan. And if you want to use more items you just copy and paste them and then plop them on if you want to like double them up. The benches from banquettes can go right against the wall though. So if I'm putting a bench in there, that doesn't have to have that 2 feet because you just slide into them, right? It's like a booth. A banquette is like a booth at a restaurant. They can go right against the wall. Large rectangles in bedrooms are closets. Don't put anything within 2 feet of the kitchen cabinets, and really just don't put anything in the kitchen. You will not use all the templates. You just decide what are the best ones that are going to work for you. You also get to decide the relationship between Haley and Chang. They can be roommates. They can have separate beds. If they're roommates, they're going to have separate beds and bedrooms. Or they can be a couple if you'd want, and they can share a bed. However, if you're having them share the bed, you have to give them a double or a queen size. And queen size is much more comfortable. So try to get that in if you can. But if you have them single, like they're roommates, then they can have twin beds each. Remember to view the traffic space needed is the common thing that people lose points on, that you can actually get around all the furniture. Okay, and then this is where you're going to work on all the stuff that you're doing. So reminder, these banquettes, these are like the things, they could go right, so you're going to just drag and drop. I could put it right there. However, I don't have enough room to actually get in that, right? So I'd maybe need to do it more like that. I'd put my furniture there. So you just got to play around with it, making sure people actually can get in and out of all of this stuff. They have to have a little space between the table and all that stuff too. Or you can use these, but if I do that, these chairs, I have to be able to pull the chairs out. So I need to make sure I'm leaving room to do that. And one of the most common things is people forget about this space. They'll try to do the 2 feet, but then there's not enough, like this is a major traffic area to get into this kitchen that's used a lot. You should have 3 feet at minimum for that. So that'd be like 1, 2, 3. So that would like end right here, right? So you've got to make sure you're leaving that space in here, okay? So this is what I was talking about here, like this box and this box right here, those are closets. You can see the doors on them. You can't cover those up. So otherwise people can't get into their closets to get into their clothes. Okay, this is the bathroom right here. It's just a toilet, little tiny sink stuff. You can't really fit much in there, if anything. Okay, beds. So reminder, like if you wanted to do each person with a twin bed, you just right click on it. And then you just put, usually it lets me. There we go. Now I should be able to copy it. And then I paste it. And then I have 2 to drag in. Or you can do it with whatever. Like sofas, you can do that with anything on here. And then you can see I also have like a computer monitor. I have laptops. Okay. So putting all the little pieces. These can be like little cubes for extra seating. Little seating cubes, bean bags, that kind of stuff, entertainment centers, chase, I have stationary bike. Notice I have the stationary bike here. I have vanities. Vanities are really common for people to use, like to put on makeup and that kind of thing. But notice that needs a bench, so they're here. I have a bunch of different desks. This desk return, what that means is I could take like this desk right here and I could put this little return on there. And then there could be a workspace here and there could be a workspace here. And then, but like I'm probably not going to get two chairs in there at the same time. So you got to play around with that and see what you can make happen. Maybe that'd work better for a different chair or a different thing. Okay, that's what that is kind of for. It could be a skinny desk also. Okay, but just moving these all around. If these are nightstands, nightstands go by the beds with just a little bit of space. Reminder, if I have a twin bed, it'd be fine to just have one nightstand, and I could put I can put the twin bed all the way like this if I wanted, and that's okay to have a twin bed shoved against a wall. Maybe I have a nightstand, and then a nightstand that's really close. Okay, I cannot do the same thing. Let me pick it up. I cannot do the same thing for the queen or the double. Okay, if you put this in, if you take the double or the queen bed and put it like that, I will count off. You shouldn't. I know sometimes people do just to have more space and they do that, but design-wise, it's not designed well. So this is where you could like, oops, so I'm accidentally changing it, but I go up here and I can spin it. Right? So if I spin that, then I can take it and I can go, oh, okay, maybe that's where, oops, I gotta move it down just a touch. Okay, I can spin that, and then, oh, look, I can fit a nightstand here. Maybe I fit a nightstand here. Okay, I could still have it over here maybe too. This isn't a ton of space. It's a little tight, so I'd maybe play around with it and do some different stuff. Okay, but you can see how I can move, like I can spin anything that I want on this piece. Make sure you get it even. Went a little too far. Okay, so I'll mess with that and fix it later, but just putting all your stuff back, making sure that you're doing this. Again, you decide, but the double beds and the queen bed, you can't put those, it goes, obviously the short side goes against one wall, but you can't take and put the long side against a wall. Okay? There's dressers, there's other things, but again, don't get so focused on like throwing everything in here that you lose sight of what they want. Make sure you're following their requests and that your traffic flow is good, that I can actually get in places. Like this is the door to get in. I can't put stuff in the way of that. Make sure there's good traffic flow to the closets, there's good traffic flow to like the beds, all the stuff they need. Okay, this is challenging. These rooms are not very big. So the living room is big, so you can add more stuff into that, but again, make sure you can still get to everywhere. This is the doorway right here. That portion right up front and the bottom part, that's like opening the door into the room from the outside, so don't put anything there. Okay, and then this area is your hallway, making sure you're not putting stuff on the hallway. Like if I took even like my sofa, right, and I don't really necessarily want to put my sofa on this wall. Like if I do, it's kind of in the way of like the hallway. It's okay, it's just not going to be the best. So feel free to float some of your furniture. Like I could float it and put it here and that'd be okay. And then I can mess with how I'm going to do that. Sometimes I give people, like it may be okay to put the TV or something there if it's a flat screen or something like that. It's up to you. But you know, you could put, like maybe I could put a buffet table if it's skinny on there, as long as I still have a lot of room to walk. So there's a lot of options with that though. So be playing around with it. It should take you a while to get this right, and making sure that you're kind of adding all the stuff you need to. Okay? And then don't forget, at the bottom is a reflection that you should be filling out about how you met the needs of your clients. So look back at what they were. How did you do that? What do you like best about your arrangement? What was the most difficult piece of it? And then what would you do differently if you had to do it again? What would you And even if just little things, what would you change up? Okay, please email me or text me with any questions. Have a wonderful day.